They definitely treat sales like a programming optimization problem.
Yep.
It's like stereotypical,
Yeah.
actually.
So what do we think the net effect of this is going to be overall? If AI, makes us all more productive, if AI can start taking away some of the junior programming work, do we see a lot more unicorns? Does it make it possible for one company to become worth like $1 trillion, or do we see like a long tail of lots of like unicorns started by much smaller teams?
And do we think the teams will even shrink? Because if we go back to predictions in the early 2000s, there were a lot of people who were predicting that as programming got more efficient, companies would be smaller. Because in the 90s, to build an internet startup, you had to build everything yourself. You had to have people who knew how to rack servers. You had to hire people who knew how to optimize databases. You had to hire like people to run payroll, and then all of that stuff got like turned into like SaaS services or infrastructure, or open source, and so like you could focus on just your core competency. And there were a lot of people who were predicting that this meant that companies would have fewer employees because they wouldn't need all those people that you needed in the past.
I remember racking servers, but I bet a lot of people watching this have never even stepped foot in
don't
a
even know
data
what
center.
that phrase means.
Yeah, what is what's a rack? Like, how does that even work? You just go and click a button on a website and like boom, I have a server, right? Like that's how it works, right?
Yeah, and the four of us were looking at some data earlier, and what we discovered is it didn't happen actually. Like companies didn't get smaller, and Harch discovered the reason why.
There's this concept in economics called the Jevons paradox, which is essentially once you make any service more efficient, like you make it cheaper to deliver, you increase demand for it, and so you actually just get more consumption. And like examples would be Excel spreadsheets, making it easier to do financial analysis did not decrease the number of financial analysts, it actually just like increased them. I think typewriters being replaced by word processors, kind of another example of where, yes, the strict role of being a typist on a typewriter went away, but the demand for people with word processing skills went way up.
So software became cheaper to make, but at the same
time, and programmers became more efficient, but it did not reduce the demand for programmers.